You know, I've been saying for a few years now that Columbus is one of my favorite locations in the country. What's going on, everybody? I'm Jay. Welcome to Square Pegs. Today we're talking about CORGSCon 2024. That is the Columbus, Ohio Retro Gaming Society convention, Ohio's longest running video game con. And once again, I was a guest. This is my third year in a row where I've been a guest. Thank you to Gary for the invite. And I want to talk about the show a little bit. So we got there Friday night and it was just a great drive down. No problems experienced whatsoever. Had a great night, got to see some friends, got to go out and have a good time at dinner with Gary from Rock Solid Productions and Chris from the Game Dad Show. It was just a fun time. And then the next day was the convention. And we started things off by being on a panel with TechBuzz TV.
Have Gary 3D print out a He-Man chest plate to put on your GoPro.
Right now.
Yay, Brian!
Now, I love Steven. Steven's one of my favorite people. He's just a great guy. Fantastic host, runs an amazing channel over at TechBuzz. And to be able to be included on one of his live panels at a convention for the first time, I wasn't able to do it when I met him at Cleveland last year, was a treat. It was just an honor to be a part of it. And to be able to be on a panel with Dr. Scott from the Game Closet and Retro Rob and Brandy, Gamer Aimer, and Chris from Game Dad, and Steven himself was just amazing. It was awesome to be able to hang out and spend time with everybody and just talk about our love of video games and what we were hoping to accomplish at the show. And then I was on the YouTuber panel with Game Dad, with Gamer Aimer, with Mr. Right Way, with Nintendo, and with Paul Niemeyer, who was the original artist on Mortal Kombat. And it was awesome to spend some time with folks and answer some questions.
So the Saturn suffers from middle child syndrome. You know, it's right between the Genesis and the Dreamcast, so people just kind of forget about it and overlook it. It is a better system than the Dreamcast. Like, objectively, it's a better console. I love my Dreamcast, don't get me wrong. Yeah, but I love Saturn.
One of the things I love about CORGS is the fact that you can really find anything there. There's amazing vendors that are there. And one of the things I really admire about what Gary puts together at this show, and one of the kind of signature experiences at a Columbus, Ohio convention, be it CORGS or TORG, is that there's a distinct focus on gaming. Now, you're going to find other stuff there as well. You're going to find non-gaming merchandisers. You're going to find people selling plushies and things like that. But I would say 95% of the vendors were gaming related and had video games for sale. And I think that's amazing. It's such a fun thing to be able to go to just a game convention and not have to worry about kind of wading through a lot of stuff that just doesn't have the interest for me. It's fun stuff, to be sure, but to be able to just look at games was awesome. And the people that were selling things that weren't games had some amazing stuff on display that was at least game related, or at least nerd related in one way, shape, or form. It was just really cool to be able to go around the show and see vendors that I've known now for years to be able to buy stuff from and to be able to spend time with them and have a good time. After the show, we ended up going out to a Chinese buffet with our friend Lindsay, aka LL Cool Games, and her family, as well as Gamer Aimer, and Game Dad, and Gary from Rock Solid Productions, viewer Kyle. And it was a really good time. I'm going to be recapping pickups and stuff like that later on, but I'm...
This is so unprofessional. Who did this? I don't want to say the mystery has been solved, but I got a feeling the mystery has been solved.
And then the next day we got together with Lindsay and with a bunch of other folks, and we went out to breakfast for Lindsay's birthday, which was awesome. Very happy to celebrate her birthday with her. And then we went to a store called The Nerd Emporium, which is right around the corner from our hotel, and there was some really cool stuff there that I managed to pick up. And then we did our drive home. You know, we went to a couple stops on the way back. We stopped at a Half Price Books. We stopped at a really cool comic and gaming store called The Dragon's Lair, which was awesome. I went to a store called Game On, and we stopped by IKEA to pick up some stuff for our rooms. And it was great. It was an awesome trip. I love going to Columbus. I love being able to spend time there and to see my friends and to just have a great time. But I know what you guys are here for. You're here for the pickups. As always, it is time to recap the amazing pickups and gifts and everything that happened to me at the show. First off, thank you immediately to Gary and Gary. Yes, there were two Garys. Actually, there are a lot of Garys. There are several Garys there. But thank you to both Garys that run CORGS for having me out and for letting me take part. It's always a treat to go to Columbus. It's one of my favorite cities. And to be able to go to one of my favorite shows, as I've said in the past, this is the first show that ever had me as a guest. So I'm very loyal to Gary and I'm very loyal to CORGS. And it's just something where I love going. I do love that it's a one-day show. do think it's getting to the point where it might have to expand to 2 days soon because it's big and there's a lot going on. It was really, really fun. Let's go over the pickups now, and we're going to start with the non-game stuff first because that seems to make the most sense to me. So we're going to start things off first. I gotta show you this. So we went to a store called the Dragon's Lair in Columbus, which is a board game and comic book shop, and it's really cool. They have a bearded dragon there, and he's really awesome. His name is Ripley, and they sell these adorable print-in-place 3D prints of Ripley, their bearded dragon, and yeah, Meredith picked this up for me. I just love him. I love bearded dragons. I love reptiles, and he's just awesome. He's gonna be with me forever. This is my buddy. He sits on my shoulder during meetings at work, so he's the best. I love him. The other thing I got, we went to Half Price Books. Now, Columbus is replete with Half Price Books. They like surround the entire belt line around the city, and we have none within an hour of us here in Kalamazoo. So whenever I go, I make sure to stop at Half Price because you never know what you're going to find. In this case, I didn't find any goddamn games, but I did find some cool stuff. We got Victor a bunch of books. I actually got a book, a French book for my French lessons that I'm taking, and I got this awesome pin, which I love. I am a huge Sex Pistols fan, love punk rock, and they had a bunch of really cool Sex Pistols stuff, and this guy is going right up on the pin board immediately after this video because it's been sitting in the package now for like 3 days, and I have the itch to put it on the board. That was other stuff. Now we're going to move on to the artwork I got, and all the artwork I got this time was from my friend Rusty Shackles. Rusty is, first off, just like, he's just an unbelievable sweetheart. He's a brilliant dude. Amazing artist, one of the best artists I've ever seen. He probably is my favorite artist right now. Whenever I see him, I make sure to buy at least one print, and I bought 7 this show. I bought 7 prints. Oh boy, I bought 7 prints that are going to have to go up in my game room, which will be changing soon. Spoilers, but you'll see eventually. The change is coming. But the first ones I got a couple of pro wrestling prints. I got this one and this one. If you notice, if you are a fan of classic pro wrestling action figures, these are done to look like the blister cards for the classic LJN WWF Superstars of Wrestling action figures that were solid rubber. I always call them the Kill Your Little Brother toys because they were like 1.5 pounds, 2 pounds of solid rubber that you could just club the crap out of your brother with. Yeah, I love that. I also got something to go up on the shelves behind my G.I. Joe collection, and they are a couple of Metal Gear Solid prints. This one and this one. Obviously, those are done up to look like classic G.I. Joe card art. I'm a massive G.I. Joe fan. It is my favorite thing to collect outside of video games. I love having the Gray Fox and the Solid Snake prints as toys to put up on the wall behind my Joes. All right, now the 3 prints I got. One of them was a gift from Rusty because I was apparently the only person who ever bought the smaller version of this. And this is a Justice League Task Force print. Now, I know that I'm probably the only person on the planet that loves this game, but it was one of my favorite fighting games growing up. I loved the character roster. I loved that I got to play as like Green Arrow and the Flash and Superman, and I thought it was a blast. I thought it was a fun game. Is it perfect? No, not by any stretch of the imagination, but I thought it was awesome, and he gave that to me, and that's just super cool. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, Rusty. It's beautiful. It's going up on the wall, and it'll stay there forever because it's just amazing. I mean, where else am I going to get any Justice League Task Force merch? Come on now. These next 2 I paid for. These next 2 I bought. And this one is from one of my favorite Xbox 360 games. This is Lollipop Chainsaw. Rusty does amazing work. He does some great cheesecake pinup art. And, I mean, yeah, I like it. I ain't gonna lie to you. I think it's wonderful. And then this one here is a new addition to the Mega Man Shrine. This is a Rockman 2 print that he did that is just amazing. This is so cool. Absolutely love it. Now, if you follow Gary from Rock Solid Productions on Instagram, I should probably lean forward so I'm in focus. Now, if you follow Gary from Rock Solid Productions on Instagram, you have already seen this one, but when I saw this for sale at the show, immediately knew I had to get it because it is just incredible. As you know, Gary likes to call me a hobbit because I'm haha short, and I'm just going to lean into it now. So this is going on the door to the new game room because, I mean, welcome to the Shire, right? That's what it's going to be. The game room will be officially known as the Shire from now on. We're going to have 11 seasons second breakfast in there all the time. Okay, let's talk video game pickups. Now, first and foremost, I picked this up from my buddy Kevin from the Game On Network, who had a table there vending. He's also going to have a table vending at Siege. He's awesome. If you find yourself at Southeast Game Exchange, which I will be a guest at, and I look forward to seeing you there, be sure to find his table because he's brilliant. And I believe he might be doing a panel, and if he's doing a live console conflict, you need to find yourself in it because those shows are so much fun. But I picked up a Yoshi Topsy-Turvy. Now, if you know me, you know I'm not a huge Yoshi fan, but I do love this game. I am a big fan of games with accelerometers and just random doodads and hoo-has. Not hoo-has, let's not say that. Random doodads and things built into them to make the gameplay a little bit different. Like stuff like this, like Boktai. It's so cool to see stuff like that built into a game cartridge that just works. It's amazing. All right, Nintendo Switch pickup, and I've been wanting to get this one for a few months and I just never pulled the trigger on it. I never saw it at a price I was comfortable with, and hey, when you're at a convention, you got disposable income and money doesn't count when you're at a show. I decided to pick up Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. I played the demo and I loved it. I'm really looking forward to spending some time with this one. Huge fan of the Prince of Persia series, and this new entry was fantastic on the demo, so I'm hoping that the full version is great as well. I know a lot of people have played it and love it. A Wii pickup now, and I'm actually running out of space on my Wii shelf. I think this might be the last thing I can fit. I might actually have to get a new level for Wii games, which is almost embarrassing, but I'm also kind of proud of it. So this is the SNK Arcade Collection. This features 16 different games. Art of Fighting, Baseball Stars 2, Burning Fight, Fatal Fury, King of the Monsters, Last Resort, Magician Lord, Metal Slug, Neo Turf Masters, Samurai Showdown, Sengoku, Shock Troopers, Super Sidekicks 3, King of Fighters 94, Top Hunter, and World Heroes. I love compilation discs. I love SNK. I love SNK Arcade games. That was made for me. And this one actually replaces a game that I have but doesn't work, and it's unfortunate. I have tried resurfacing it, it doesn't work, and this particular copy is just like minty, beautiful, gorgeous, and just deliciously complete in box. One of my favorite BioWare titles of all time, and possibly my favorite Xbox game. It's between this and Knights of the Old Republic, but I think this might edge it out. As much of a huge Star Wars fan as I am, I do think that Jade Empire is a better game overall. Very excited to have this limited edition back in my collection and very excited to be able to play this again. All right, moving on now to the Summer of Sega pickups. If you have been on the channel for a while and you have been paying attention for the last 3 months since March, yes, I started summer early. Deal with it. It's been cold here. I wanted it to get warm. I started collecting for what I'm calling the Summer of Sega. Whether it's on a Sega console or not on a Sega console, as long as Sega published it, I'm looking at it, I'm interested in it, I want to see it. And the first one is a Wii game, and it's a remake or a continuation of a classic Genesis and arcade game. This is Alien Syndrome. Now, I have heard bad things about this game. I have heard that this is not great from critics, but I've also heard from people that have played it that it's amazing and that they love it. So I'm hoping that I'm going to fall into the latter category here. I'm really looking forward to trying this one out because I love the original. So hopefully Alien Syndrome on the Wii is brilliant. Had to get my Game Gear because I was playing this one already. I picked up Sonic Triple Trouble, which is another Sonic platforming game. It's wonderful, it's fun, it's fast, it's Sonic, and that's all you can really ask for. I thoroughly enjoy it and very happy to have it in my collection. All right, we're just going to go alphabetical on these because I picked up 5 Genesis games and very excited to have all of them. First up is Phantasy Star 3, which is one of the best role-playing games of all time. Next up, one of the best fighting games of all time. This is Samurai Showdown. Another amazing role-playing game, this one from the tactical variety. This is Shining Force 2, which I've never owned before, so very happy to have that in the collection. Here is a port of the arcade version of one of my favorite NES games. I've never actually played this one. This is Strider, and one I have never played before, but it's from Sunsoft, so I'm hoping it's going to be good. This is Superman. And now we come to the gifts, because I am an incredibly fortunate person, and I know some unbelievable people that do things for me that they don't have to do, and I can't say how much I appreciate it. I'm going to go over each one of these in detail, because they are just, they're awesome, and I frequently feel I don't deserve stuff like this, but I truly appreciate each and everything that was given to me, because they're wonderful, and from wonderful people that I adore and can't thank enough for either, I don't want to say being a fan of the show, because they're not, they're friends. These are all people that I know, these are all people I care about, and all people I talk to and really, really like. First up from my friend Gary from Rock Solid Productions was an addition to the Summer of Sega. It's this Dreamcast, it's Thinking sign. It's stunning lit up. You will see it when the new game room is done. I don't want to show it lit up yet just because gotta leave you wanting for a little bit here. It's a magnificent sign. I love all the 3D print work that Gary does, and for him to give me that is just cool. I really appreciate it. Next up from my friend Retro Rob. Now Rob is legitimately one of my favorite people. He's a fantastic creator, one of the most humble people I've ever met, and has such a giving heart, and just is so good to me and to Meredith and to Victor. I can't thank him enough for everything he does. And when we were together in Milwaukee, we went to Walmart one night and we saw some Nintendo figures, and we both talked about how much we liked Diddy Kong and Donkey Kong. And honestly, I kind of forgot about it at that point. I don't go down the toy aisles all that often other than to look at G.I. Joes, so kind of forgot they existed. But Rob didn't, because Rob's a good person, and Rob got me both Diddy and Donkey, so these guys will be displayed forevermore in the game room as well. Thank you so much, Rob. I really appreciate you. Next up, longtime viewer of the channel and a truly wonderful friend who I have signed a game for. At least one, maybe a couple. One of them was Monopoly, though, which... Damn it, Kyle. Kyle overheard me talking about my recent pickup of the Neo Geo Pocket Color Selection Volume 2 and how I said I didn't have Volume 1. And he found it for me at CORGS and picked it up for me. So thank you so much, Kyle. I've already played each and every game on this collection, and I've loved every second of it. It's Neo Geo Pocket Color is one of my favorite consoles of all time. To have this collection is amazing. It's so nice to be able to play all those games on such a fantastic compilation. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Now, I saved this one for last because I owe this person an apology. It was not malicious intent or anything like that, but at the end of the show, I said his name wrong. I introduced him as Jason, and his name is James, and I know his name is James, but I was exhausted. I was kind of frazzled. I had just been talking to someone named Jason, and I was not thinking, and I frankly feel like kind of a dick for doing that because he did not deserve it. James gave me a very incredible gift. Something that I truly, especially after screwing up his name, feel I don't deserve, but I appreciate more than I can say. And I thank him so much for this. I have talked numerous times about how Super Mario Bros. 2 is an important game to me. It was the first game I ever bought with my own money. It was the first game that I ever owned, like quote unquote owned, because I paid for it. But I had no aspirations of ever owning it complete in box again. I was contented to just find a cartridge. But James found me a complete in box copy of Super Mario Bros. 2. Now, as he pointed out, it's missing things like the inserts and stuff like that, but it's got the manual, it's got the game, it's got the sleeve, it's got the styrofoam, and it has the box, and that's more than complete enough for me. Thank you so much, James. I truly appreciate you. I don't deserve it, and I can't thank you enough for your generosity. It means the world to me. There you have it, everybody. The recap of CORGS 2024. If you're ever in the Columbus, Ohio area, you need to check CORGSCon out. It's one of my favorite shows of the year. It's usually in May. It did happen in June this year just because of some scheduling conflicts at the fairgrounds it was held at, but it's a fun show. It's always got some unique stuff there and just brilliant guests. It was so nice to see Gary and Chris and Steven from Tech Buzz and Mr. Right Way and Leonard Herman, who I love and I didn't get to talk to long enough today, and I feel terrible about that. I got to see him briefly. I saw him at the hotel lobby. I didn't really talk to him at the show, but Lenny, you're it's always an honor to be in your presence because of how just amazing you are and how unbelievably talented you are. I got to see Dr. Scott from the Game Closet and Gamer Aimer and God, so many people. Jared and Eric from Retro Gaming Pandemic, and just so many unbelievable people and vendors that I've come to know over the years. And I cannot say again how much I appreciate the invite. Can't wait to go back next year. Can't wait to be a part of it. Thank you again to Gary and Gary for having me out. If you are in the Columbus, Ohio area, like I said, be sure to check out CORGSCon. Till next time, folks, I've been Jay. Appreciate you spending a little bit of time with me. Remember to play more games, stay square, and take care. I'll talk to you soon.